Tuesday! Who's ready to Taco Bout stuff today? So today I have kind of a fun and interesting Taco Bout It Tuesday planned for you guys. And we're going to talk about Dory's love-hate relationship with Facebook. And it's a good story. To be honest with you, it's a story I don't generally get into, because as soon as you say to somebody, "Oh, I'm in Facebook jail," they say, "Oh my God, Dory, what did you do wrong? Give me the dish. What'd you do? What'd you do, girl?" So we're going to talk about what I did to get on the bad side of the Facebook robots. So I think the best place to start this story is how I used to use Facebook, because I think like 90% of the people out there who are on Facebook, I didn't really use Facebook. I had a Facebook. I've had a Facebook since I don't even know when. I'd have to look at when I started my Facebook, but I never really used it. I used it to scroll and check on people. Every now and then I'd get tidbits and updates, and once every 6 months, whether it needed me to or not, I would look at my Facebook. But I really wasn't someone who turned on my Facebook every day or once a week, or even, to be honest with you, once a month. I didn't really use my Facebook. Now, what I've learned since is that was my number one problem. My number one problem with Facebook was that I didn't use Facebook. I was not a regular Facebook user. Now, what I learned is that Facebook, in addition to all of the algorithms that you hear everybody talk about and complain about, and they're like, my posts aren't being seen, my people that I follow I'm not following, Facebook also has, I call it an individual algorithm. I don't know what the technical term for it is. I couldn't get an answer. But basically it means this. Facebook tracks your amount of activity. How often you're on Facebook, how often do you log in, how frequently do you post, how often do you make comments, and it sets up your very own little algorithm of acceptable usage. So basically Facebook decides based on how much you use Facebook, how much you're allowed to use Facebook. Now, I didn't know that. I had no clue. None. Hello, Miss Cynthia. She said she loves my bangs and curls. I do too. Some people tease me about my short bangs, but I just love them. I feel very Vulcan and logical, just saying. Oh my goodness, so funny. So Facebook is where I started. And when I found Keto, I went to Facebook to post content, and I wasn't even concerned about it. The thought that I had never really used Facebook very much, whatever, I'm going to use it now, right? So for the first 2 weeks, and this is also what I've learned, Facebook tracks your movement for 14 days or 2 weeks to decide how much is too much. So Dory finds Keto and starts making posts. And lo and behold, 14 days down the road, I got my very first Facebook jail, and it came in the form of a notification that said this: you have made 28 posts over the last 14 days. That's 2 a day, right? 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, or in the evening. You have commented on those same 28 posts. And I was like, well, duh, I made them. I'm going to comment on them. And you accepted 19 new friend requests, and that is too much. And I was like, well, what do you mean that's too much? And I learned right away what that meant, that's too much. That means that Facebook put me in jail or blocked me from using those particular functions for 2 weeks. So when I first started keto, I made those many posts in 2 weeks, and then I got Facebook jail for 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, I was not allowed to make any posts, comment on any posts, or send or accept any new friend requests for 2 weeks. So I did what most of us would do, and I started a different Facebook. And I was like, whatever, you give that one jail, I'll start another Facebook. And it didn't take long before that Facebook got jail. So for a while, I was moving between 2 different Facebook profiles. My original Facebook profile that I still have, Dory Lynn Marie Sonnenberg, and I had created a Dory Marie Sonnenberg. Well, because I didn't use that one either, it was between the 2 getting jail all of the time, so I gave up and I decided I would just keep my original profile and I would suck up the jail as the jail came. I don't know that it was the best decision, but at that point it was the only decision I could make. I was not able to sign out from one profile to the other without getting flagged. So as soon as I would sign into my second profile, Facebook would flag it, shut it down, kick me out. I'd have to face verify, even had to send them my driver's license picture to get it back. So I decided, you know what? I'll just take my lumps. I'll take my lumps as they come, and I stopped with the second Facebook page, partly because it was frustrating and partly because it's really confusing for you guys. And I just thought, you know what, as I start to use Facebook more, it will adjust my personal algorithm and I will stop getting Facebook jail all of the time. And yet Facebook surprised me, because in 2 years, it has still not increased my personal algorithm. And you guys know that I post a lot more content on Facebook than I would have in the beginning, 2 posts a day. So consequently, I'm just almost always in Facebook jail for one thing or another. I'll share a couple funny instances with you guys, because I think the things that I've gotten Facebook jail for are really silly. Like, really, really silly. One thing I do, and I used to do more, because I work with 3 different devices. I have my new phone, my old phone, my iPad. I will often send myself pictures and links and messages so that I can save them from one device to the other. I have been given Facebook jail from sending myself messages. It actually came up and it said, the amount of messages you have been sending have been deemed abusive. And you are blocked from sending yourself messages. I have been Facebook jailed for sharing too much content from my public page to my personal page. I'm harassing myself. My favorite, my absolute favorite, I know that you guys remember a time when I used to do a really lot of live content on Facebook. And I'm going to tell you why I stopped doing that. It's only been in the last 6 months that I've come back to you guys live on Facebook. I stopped for a whole year. And the reason for that is because I used to do a lot of recipe lives. So when the live was over, I would post for you guys the pictures of the results, the recipe card. I would type in, responses to questions. And I'm officially, and I think forever, I cannot post pictures in my own live content. So if I were to go back after this live and try to post a picture for you guys, I can't. I can no longer post pictures in the comments of my own live content. Now, if I record that from Instagram, post it as a post, I can. But if it's live content, I can't. So I just kind of plug along and suck up the Facebook jail as it comes. Now, you might say, get in touch with customer service, Dory. Facebook actually does have a customer service. First of all, it took me 6 months to find it. But I did eventually get in touch with Facebook customer service. Now, I explained to them what was going on and the odd blockages. I mean, it never sends me any notifications anymore either. Like, it doesn't say you can't do this action for this amount of time. I just try to do something and it just comes up as a little red exclamation mark. So if you've ever tried to post something and that little mark pops up, that means you're in Facebook jail and you're not allowed to do that, whatever that action is, and there's never any set time. So I just, try to post what I can, share what I can, and if it shares, it shares. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't really have an awful lot of control over that. Now, Facebook really likes engagement. Facebook wants for its creators to push engagement, make comments, send the hearts, let me know, I'll answer you in the comments. But Facebook also limits the amount of responses I am allowed to make. So, if you guys wonder why I don't answer every single comment, it's because Facebook doesn't let me. It gives me a limit, but it's a mystery limit. I don't know what that actual limit is. It might still be the 28 that was the original. It could be 52. I don't know. All I know is I can do it until I can't do it anymore. So when I see your guys' comments, I'll go through and I will start hearting them and responding to them until Facebook kicks me out and tells me I can't anymore. So as a consequence, Facebook has kind of become our secondary place to hang out, which is sad. In the beginning, it was only Facebook. It was us and it was Facebook. And we did a lot of live content, a lot of one-on-one. I spent a lot of time in my kitchen just hanging out with you guys and chit-chatting and sharing our experiences, asking questions, and it just became really difficult on Facebook. And I won't lie, I kind of gave up for quite a while. I was just kind of angry at Facebook, and I thought, you know what, if you don't like me, I don't like you either. But I still keep plugging along. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that, because if you are going to start a group, start a page, start a platform, I would definitely recommend slowly increasing your amount of activity on Facebook so that you don't end up like in jail all the time, Dory. And the only reason why I share this with you guys, because I mean, really, boo-hoo, first world problems, Facebook jail. But my concern is every time they issue a Facebook jail, it's because you have broken the community standard guidelines. So how many times have I broken the community standard guidelines in the last 2 years? Every 2 weeks. Like every 14 days when they track my activity, I have yet again offended the Facebook robots. So I worry that maybe one day I will turn on my Facebook and it just won't exist, because according to Facebook, I really, I'm not a good person. Like, I am out there and I am just destroying the community guidelines and I don't care. So I do warn you guys about that just in case the day comes when you go to find me on Facebook and you can't. So we keep plugging along. We do what we do and we make the best out of it that we can. I can say that people that I know that started around about the same time I did, who used their Facebook more, who had more friends, who were regularly active on Facebook, they didn't have this same problem. So I can only say that it definitely is related to your regular amount of activity on Facebook. So whether you think Facebook needs you or not, go check on it. So it doesn't get angry at you and kick you out of everywhere. Because I do honestly feel like for the last 2 years when it comes to Facebook, all I do is fight the algorithm. All I do is try to stay clear of Facebook jail. Unsuccessfully, by the way. Like, very, very unsuccessfully try to steer clear of Facebook jail. So I think that when you're coming into this space to share your knowledge, to have a platform, it really, there's so many rules that I wish that somebody had told me. So I guess that's really at the end of the day. Kim Phelps, oh my goodness. She said her church's Facebook has been deleted and she doesn't know how to get it back. And that's the scary thing, because as soon as you sign up for a Facebook, none of us look at the terms of use. Let's be honest. We're like, yeah, agree, give me my page, stupid. But Facebook owns everything that you put out. If it's content and you put it on Facebook, it belongs to Facebook. They can share it, they can delete it, they can remove it, and they don't need to let you know why. They don't have to give it back. It is a private platform, and unfortunately, they can kind of do whatever they want to do with it. It isn't any different than the other platforms. I know lots of you were around when Jimmy Moore lost his Instagram. 58,000 followers, boom, gone. And it is in the terms of service. They can decide to post or not post or delete or reshare, rework your content in any way that they want to. Legally, it belongs to Facebook and not to you. The first time I encountered that, and I had no idea, I had just started out. I was in a very large beginners keto group. One day we'll do a whole live about that group, because I do honestly believe it's Keto Skynet. It auto accepts members. They're well over 1 million members now. There's no active moderators providing proper information. It's just thousands of newbies killing each other in the comments. And I mean killing each other. If you guys have ever popped in or out of this group, you will know what I'm talking about immediately. I always referred to it as the wild, wild west. So I was in this group, and quite a few people had pointed out that there wasn't any active moderators, and that was a very common theme. Why are there so many scammy posts? Why isn't the admin taking care of it? And everyone was like, well, there's no actual active admin here. And I won't lie, I started to panic. At that point, there was 30,000 people in the group. And I thought, okay, the average person will try a diet for about a month, and if it doesn't work, they're going to run out and tell everybody that sucked and it didn't work. So I thought, well, if there's 30,000 people in this group and nobody helping anybody, that's a couple thousand people every month that this group is pumping out saying keto sucks. So I started doing some live content to that group, and that's where my first lives was in the Keto Beginners group. And I had posted, I'm going to say probably about a half a dozen lives in there. And they decided they didn't want me as a member in their group. They did like my content, and they kept that because it was live to their group, and they could keep it and kick me out. So all of the live content that I made over Christmas leading up to New Year's was gone. Like, it was just gone. I didn't have access to it. It took me probably about 4 months to get somebody in there to save those videos for me. And I have posted a few of them. Some of them are the very early lives with Dr. Ken Berry. Some are a few by myself, but they're all my very first new videos. And it took me about 6 months to be able to get them back. Miss Candy, my darling. We'll get back to customer service. Okay, so I get a hold of them and they say, well, that seems odd. It shouldn't do that. Why don't you send us screenshots of what you can and can't do? And I explained to them, I never know in advance if I can or can't do. I just try to do and then I can't do. So they said, okay, screenshot that for us. So I spent 3 months sending them every time I came across something I couldn't do. I'd screenshot, I emailed it to them. They reviewed it over that 3 months and they got back to me, and the official email said, you know what, that's really odd. It shouldn't be like that. Hopefully, it doesn't continue. Best of luck. And I was like, well, it's been 1.5 years, so I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say it's going to persist. And after that, I won't lie, I gave up with sending them screenshots because it didn't make any difference. They couldn't seem to figure out why it happened. And it happens on both my personal and my public page. I thought maybe starting the public page would end that, but it hasn't. So I just kind of go through and either I can do it or I can't do it. And then I think, oh, well, you know what, maybe next week. Maybe next week, maybe after. And it always kind of rolls around. Whatever I do too much of, I'm not allowed to do. So for example, I have a lot of friends, really close friends, who've also started their own Facebook groups that say, I love your content, Dory. Please share your content to my group. So I do have a small collection of groups that I'm allowed to share to. I have their permission to share to. But if I share to too many groups, then I get Facebook jail from sharing to every group, except for groups that I manage. So it's kind of a fine line. I don't really get the opportunity to share my content outside of my little bubble because I don't want to risk not being able to get that content to my own groups. So if I'm sharing, which Facebook would consider oversharing with permission, they don't really care. If I post things in too many groups, then I get blocked from posting to groups. There's lots of times where I see a post and I go to comment and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not commenting today. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. I just don't know. So I am still searching for a better platform for us. I promise, if another platform comes up with a group format, we outie. Like, we will totally get us a new place to hang out. Danny Sykes. Oh, hi, Danny. It's Candy's daughter, Danny. We still need to do a live and talk about your amazing jewelry, girl, by the way. We're way late. We were going to do that after KetoCon. So send me a message because you guys need to check out her stuff. She makes the most beautiful handmade jewelry. I love it. So make sure you send me a message. We need to do that and share some of that too. I'll make you some fun TikToks. Join me on TikTok. If you guys would all come to TikTok, we could just have fun there instead. I mean, it's not really like Facebook though. You can't post a lot of stories or content or anything like that. It's just 1-minute videos, but it is stinking fun. And it is where, I won't lie, spend the majority of my time on TikTok as opposed to Facebook because it's just more fun. And also, TikTok has never jailed me. Actually, that's a lie too. Not like Facebook has, but I have accepted friends too quickly on TikTok and then, been blocked for a couple hours from accepting friends. But TikTok is a little bit different. I mean, on more than one occasion, I've woken up to 100 or 200 new friends. So when I go to follow them all back, yeah, that's following too quick. They don't want you following 200 people like that. But when I woke up and they followed me, it's rude if I don't follow them back. Like, hello. I know a lot of people on social media don't do that. But I don't know, just me personally, I think it's rude. I think it's rude. I think if you are interested in me and what I'm sharing, then it's rude for me not to be interested in you and what you're sharing. And I've heard a lot of people say, well, you can't just follow everyone, Dory. It plugs up your feed. But for me, I really feel like the people who are interested in my content, I want to know. I want to know, what are you posting? What are you eating? What do you do with your families? These are the things that bring us closer together, right? Oh, okay. Okay, that's Regan. Okay. See, she has too many daughters. That's it. Okay, tell Regan to message me and we're going to do a live about her jewelry. Oh, Nanette, my Nanette, I have not seen you in forever, darling. Nanette, you were one of my ladies who got left behind on Facebook. I never see you on Instagram. I never see you on YouTube. I never see you on TikTok. And there are a lot of my ladies who just use Facebook. And I do feel terrible for you guys because I'm really not as active here as I used to be. And the honesty is I probably never will be as active as I was on Facebook again because I can't get kicked right off Facebook. Like, if I get us kicked right off Facebook, then what? Then there's no group, there's no public page, there's no personal page. So I do have to limit the amount that I do on Facebook. Unfortunately, there isn't really any way around it. Hang on just 1 second. I'm just gonna turn off my soup here. I've got some soup boiling and I'm just gonna turn it off and unplug it. So if you guys are struggling with some of the nuances of social media and you want to share your story and you want to start a page, I do have a small Facebook group just for that. It's called The Science of Being Social. And there we talk about how to share your content. We talk about collaborations. We talk about different platforms like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and my newest favorite, TikTok. So if you are at that point where you're ready to start sharing your journey, check out my little Facebook group and maybe we can help each other get around the algorithm. Because I'm certainly not climbing over it, that's for sure. Oh, yay! Miss Nanette, you'll have to send me a message on Instagram so I know which one is yours. Not everybody has the same name on all the platforms either. So maybe you're there and I just never noticed. Anyways, let's get back our taco song. And I hope that you guys have an amazing Tuesday. And at the end of the day, don't let technology slow you down. If that is all that's holding you back, it is what it is. I've sucked it up for the last 2 years. It didn't kill me. Was it fun? Nah. Would I do it again to be with you guys? 1,000%. So the struggle is real, but it's worth it. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And thank you so much for sharing your journey with me over the last 2 years. It has been an amazing, crazy ride. Have an awesome day, guys. Tacos!